Good morning. Let's try that one more time. I know it's 7 a.m. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. I promised Mrs. Bussey and Mrs. Taylor and Mr. Lasky over at Adrian that we would keep it brief at Greenview this morning so that they could be ready for their program, which starts in 45 minutes. So dads or significant others, if you have to travel to another school today, we promise to have you done in enough time that you will have that ability to travel to your other school. But I would like to welcome you this morning. My name is Kelly Murphy, and I'm the principal here at Greenview Upper Elementary, and I have to tell you, I couldn't be happier to be at Greenview Upper Elementary School. We have an amazing student body, an amazing community of parents and community members and support people who make things happen for us at Greenview Upper Elementary in South Euclid-Lyndhurst. So thank you so much for being here today, and I welcome you. I would like to, before I begin, give a big thank you to Chief Scott and the staff at Notre Dame College. Every year they are very supportive of us. They meet us here early in the morning to help us get set up, and they allow us to use this wonderful facility. So if we can give a round of applause to Chief Scott and the Notre Dame staff, we very much appreciate it. This morning, we are here to talk about our Father's Walk and the importance of male figures in the lives of our students, not only at Greenview, but across the country. The Father's Walk is made possible through the efforts of the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative, which seeks to strengthen families in our community by encouraging fathers to play a more active role in nurturing and raising their children. And we are very blessed this morning to have Mr. Al Grimes with us, who is the head of the Fatherhood Initiative. So can we give Mr. Grimes a round of applause?
You know, sometimes we always think as we get older that we get a chance to do things over. But sometimes you don't get the chance to do stuff over, you know? Like a Father's Walk. When the kid's in the first grade or second grade and you're not here, they'll remember that, you know? The first play that a child is in when they're in the first grade, first baseball game. You know, you guys got to be there from the beginning. And the reason that we have this at the beginning of the school year, I'm going to be very brief, is we want you to be involved all year round. We want you to come to parent-teacher conferences. We want you to come and volunteer at the school. We want you to work with children on their homework every day. So this is a party with a purpose, and that's why we always had it at the beginning of the school year, because we want you to help out the principal in doing her job throughout the year. I say all the time, there's two reasons that that parents should go to school. One is to make sure that the children are doing what they're doing, and the second thing is to make sure that the school is doing what they're doing. So it's a partnership between the two. And you guys know that the parents that come to parent-teacher conferences, help with homework and those kind of things, they know exactly what's going on in their children's lives. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. You guys make a tremendous difference in the lives of your children. So stay involved, you know, give them the love that they need, be there for them both financially and emotionally, and their lives will be better. So thank you very much for coming out. We have 160 schools that are participating today. So a lot of people say, well, dads don't want to be involved. Well, today we'll have over 15,000 fathers in Cuyahoga County walking their children to school. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I couldn't have said it any better than Mr. Grimes. When I think back to my school days, it was my dad who really motivated me to do well in school. Yes, Mom was there, but Dad was the one who held those high expectations for us. You just knew you didn't want to bring home that report card and have Dad look at it and what was going to happen if you did not meet their expectations. So Dad was an important part of my school career. Was there to help me, was there to support me, but was there to also push me along when I needed to be pushed. So what Mr. Grimes said this morning is so very true. You cannot replace the importance of a dad in the life of the education of a student. So this morning we have a couple of guest speakers with us. We have Pastor Scott Blevins, who is from Garfield Memorial Church right here in South Euclid. Garfield Memorial Church is our community partner at Greenview, and we could not do what we do at Greenview without the support of Garfield Memorial Church. They are there to help us with our Kids Read program. They come in and they provide some snacks for the teachers to just help the teachers keep that morale up and say thank you for what you do for our kids. They are there if we need help, possibly with a family who needs some extra support. And we try to give back to them as well. We collect cans of food during the holiday season, and we contribute to the food pantry that Garfield Memorial has, and we hope to do more to be able to give back to Garfield. So we are very pleased to have Pastor Scott Blevins with us this morning. Come on up.
Thank you, Mrs. Murphy. Good morning, welcome. Thank you, dads, for being here. This is an amazing thing that's happening here this morning and throughout the county. I'm not going to take too much of your time because I know you're here for your kids, not for me, but I just have a couple of words to say. And so you know, I'm a dad too. My kids are a little further down the road. My daughter's 19, my son is 17, and I'm still walking with them as much as I can. It gets different as the years go on. But one of the things that I remember most, one of my most vivid memories from my childhood, I grew up in southern Ohio, so we didn't go to Cedar Point. We went to Kings Island when I was a kid. And in Kings Island, they've got a fake Eiffel Tower. It's real, but it's, you know, small. And we would go there. There were always crowds. We were there on Saturdays. It was the only times we were there, and it was packed. And as a young child, I remember one time, you know, you're following through the crowd, and you just got to keep your eye on your dad. And that was what I was always told. Just follow me. And Dad would say, keep your eye on me, stay with me. And I turned around at one point, I couldn't find my dad. I had wandered away. I don't know whether it was cotton candy or a ride or a game or something, but I wandered away, and I turned around and my dad wasn't there. That was the time, probably in my childhood, that I was more scared than any other time, just because I was there in a crowd, out in the world, surrounded by strangers, and my dad was not there. We had a plan. The plan was go to the Eiffel Tower, because wherever you are in the park, you can see the Eiffel Tower. So I went to the Eiffel Tower, and I realized for the first time in my life how big that tower really is. And it's a long way around the bottom, and I'm still a little kid among all these folks, and all I can think about is finding my dad, and he was there. And I spent the rest of the day glued to his side. It was like Velcro, just walking with my dad. You know, 90% of fatherhood, I think, sometimes is just showing up, just being there. I think it's easy as adults to forget how big the world is for our kids and how important it is for them, for their mental health, their emotional health, their spiritual health, for that sense of confidence and security just to have us there. We don't have to do it perfectly. I am far from a perfect dad. If you want to know that, just ask my kids or my wife. They will tell you I am far from a perfect dad. I lost my daughter once. I was on the other end of that. She was about 2 years old. We were visiting some friends. We'd moved to a new town. We were unfamiliar there. My daughter was playing with his daughters, who were a few years older, and his daughters came back, and I said, "Where's Grace?" And they said, "We don't know, she left a while ago." And my heart just went boom. It was an hour and a half later before we found my daughter. I did not call my wife until she was back. I wasn't going through that part of it. But I was in that spot. It was my job. She was my firstborn. She was 2 years old. I was supposed to protect her. I was supposed to be there with her. And now she's gone. I'm not there with her. And what happened was, about an hour and a half later, a neighbor came walking down the road. I had never met this person before. I can't tell you their name to this day, but my daughter had made it across the road, behind another row of houses, walked all the way down like a quarter of a mile, and this neighbor found this young girl that she didn't know and was just walking her down the street till she could find her dad. And we're not always going to be there. We're going to mess up. We're going to screw up. We're going to make mistakes. Life is going to happen. There's going to be work sometimes. There's going to be emergencies sometimes. And that's when we got to realize that we need help walking with our kids. And sometimes it's going to be on us to walk with someone else's kid when their dad isn't there, so that they have a stand-in for a while, for a time, so that the child knows they're not alone. And they don't need to be afraid, and they've got a lot of life in front of them, but they've got people around them they can depend on just to be there. Had that situation, yes, my 17-year-old son yesterday in a car accident. And I dropped everything. I was supposed to be at a meeting at the school yesterday morning. I texted and said, I can't be there. My son's in an accident. I went, and my 17-year-old son, who wants to be all adult and all grown up, and Dad, leave me alone. Mom, leave me alone. I want to do this. I got this. He saw him. He was standing on the corner talking to the police officer, and I knew he was glad I was there. And we sorted things out. We got things moving. It doesn't end. Our kids are going to need us to walk with them for a long, long time. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to always get it right, but if we can just be there, and when we can't be there, or when someone else's father can't be there, if we can step in and walk beside them for a time so that our children know that they're not alone, that they've got someone walking with them to guard them, to protect them, to offer a little shelter and shade and guidance and strength and courage. If we can do that day in and day out, week in and week out, year in and year out, I think we'll be doing pretty good. Pretty good. So thank you very much for this time this morning.
Thank you, Pastor Blevins. Every year we also like to have a student and a parent stand up and talk, and this morning we are very pleased to have 6th grader Tamia Smith and her father, Mr. Daniel Smith, so come on up.
I appreciate my father because he keeps me modest, religious, and gets me through some things even though I get in trouble. He also spoils me for inaccurate reasons. I think it's important to support your kids academically and in life because they need to know the basics in life. They need to know how to act, who to talk to, who not to talk to, and my father taught me that following is not the way to go. I am thankful for my father because he taught me how to be respectful, be responsible, organized, mature, to be a leader, and he has helped me a lot educational-wise. My father is the best he could be right now.
Okay. Hopefully I can become a little better father. First, go Browns, everybody. Hopefully you get that win tonight.
That would be nice. Yeah.
That would be great. So my daughter came to me and asked me to come and speak, and I just thought about all the times that I've told her no, and I actually can't remember one time I actually told her no, besides when she asked for my last Pop-Tarts the other day. But that's how it is when you have a daughter or a son, but especially with a daughter, you pretty much treat them like a princess, and there's nothing that they can do wrong, in my opinion. So there was a questionnaire that I was given, and one of the questions was, why is it important for male figures in kids' lives? And for me, one thing I remember is my father telling me that love equals time. That's how you spell love. Especially for my father, who, in my opinion, he was always there for me when I needed him, but at the same time, he built a work ethic, and he made sure that he was active in our lives. So when I had my own children, I wanted to make sure that I showed my kids what hard work would do, but at the same time, if I had to sacrifice any sleep or even extra hours at work, I would do it. Right now, I got off work this morning at 04 this morning, and I got up, and I'm here today. So, unfortunately, I still think about the first question when they stress the importance of being a father, because I work in the neighborhood, I work in the city of Cleveland, and unfortunately I witnessed a young man lose his life yesterday at a football game at a recreation center. And there was other kids up there. They were up there with their fathers, they were playing football, and I had to help and investigate, and hopefully we can help catch the guy. But The importance of life is sometimes taken for granted, but I never take that for granted, especially when I'm seeing young men lose their lives every day. So when you do have the time, take the time to tell your kids that you love them, and definitely treasure your time. So finally, I also think about my father and how he helped me. My father actually adopted me. I was adopted when I was 7 years old, and just because he adopted me, it kind of put me in that situation, in that role in life where I will always help other people. I will always help those that need help, and I will always try to protect those that need to be protected. And those people that need to be protected is my family and anybody else's kids. So I'm gonna keep it short because I know other people have to go to other schools, but just remember, time is love. Love is time.
Thank you, Tamia and Mr. Smith. And truly, every year we have one of these, it gets more and more beautiful. The words that come out of people's mouths when they come up here and speak, you can't replace that. And I have goosebumps just listening to everybody this morning. And truly, you couldn't have said it any better. Time equals love. And that's what it all boils down to. So keep that in mind. Those little moments of time will be remembered forever. So thank you so much. Fathers, today when you walked in, you were given a pledge card. So if you could take that pledge card out, and we're going to look at that, and we're just going to read through pretty quickly. And I'm sorry, I have to put my glasses on nowadays. So we're going to start with the first bullet point. We're just going to read through together. So if we could all just say together our pledge for fathers and men. I will take my children or a child to school, and I will be at a school on September 20th, which is today, to encourage all children to do their best every day at school. Number 2, I am responsible for the education of my child. Say it loud and proud. I will volunteer at my child's school 3 times this school year. I will pick up my child's progress report or grade report when required. I will meet with my child's teacher at least 2 times this year and support them in educating my child. I will teach my child the value of family as well as the value of education. I will work with my child's mother or guardian to achieve the best academic and social outcomes for my child, even if I do not live with my child. And that last one is so very important. You don't have to live in the same household to have an impact. Time equals love.